We combined break and retest with supply and demand for 2 successful trades this week. We had a retest of the trend line at pre-market and we're waiting for it to go down this next area of support. So we'll see. We can look left. That's a good idea to look left. We can see this is a pretty strong area. Price has stopped in this area many times before. So we reached one of our TPs already. I'll go ahead and move this down a little bit so we don't lose all of our profit. And kind of follow closely. We could also remove some just to be on the safe side. And we know that this is a pretty long candle, and if price closes beyond this, it might be turning around, so we'll see. But the good thing is that now we're in a risk-free trade. And that's one of the reasons that I like including that in my trading plan, is since we're using a very small account, we're less likely to lose a lot of money. So this is a pretty strong trade with good confirmations to the downside. So we'll see, we might be done here. I think I'm going to go ahead and exit. Okay, that was a successful trade. And we're done for the day. Okay, here we are on NAS 100, and we have noticed that there was a break and retest on the 15-minute time frame. So here's the 15-minute time frame. We drew our 15-minute trend line that we could draw pretty easily that has 3 touch points. Here's 1, 2, and 3. And we noticed that there was a break, and we've retested this trend line, and we've also retested supply, and now we're waiting for price to continue downward. We entered about probably closer to right in here after we noticed a 3-bar reversal on the 15-minute time frame. So here's our first bar at 10 o'clock, our second at 10:15, and our third bar, which engulfs the second bar, at 10:30. So we have our push up, our bar of indecision, and our engulfing bar in the opposite direction. So we're waiting to see if price will continue downward. All right, so here we are, we're waiting. This is the 15-minute time frame on our Hanko trade platform. This is a Hanko platform which allows you to put a small amount on and trade live. And as long as you set a reasonable stop loss and don't overtrade, then you can usually earn enough to pay for your next grocery run. Or an area of liquidity. So at the end of this little wick right here, we'll go ahead and remove some. So I only have 0.02, so I would remove 0.01. And I do that because I always want to secure something. And even if it's a small amount, it still adds up. Because you never know, this is a very volatile indice. So it could snap back up at any moment. It looks like we're there, so I'll remove half. See, now I'm going to refresh the screen. Okay, so now we should have 0.1. Great. And we can also go ahead and move our stop loss a little bit beyond take profit so that we can secure enough to cover the commission. And now we'll wait for the rest of the trade to finish out. So I'm thinking we're going to get down here to this point. And so now we have a risk-free trade and we've secured some profit. And this is what I mean by it's a volatile pair. So we could have had our stop loss, a little bit higher, but you just never know. And usually if price closes beyond the middle of this bar, or if it goes beyond the middle, that's an indication that price might be continuing upward. We can see here that that once we reached this point and took off part of our trade and moved our stop loss to break even, that was a good idea because price decided to reverse and go upward. All right, so this was our 15-minute break and retest. You can see that here. We had a break, as we said before, and a retest of the trend line, and we expected price to continue down to at least this area. As our plan indicates, we took off some of our profit when we reached the first area of support, which was right in here. We took off some of our trade and followed our rules, and it worked out for us because we secured some profit. We were in a risk-free trade, and when price took us out, we had enough to cover the commission. So you always want to secure some profit along the way.